Nicole.
All right. Is Nicole? Nicole?
I'm here.
Hello.
Thanks for coming, Tim.
Sorry for being late.
No worries. We're glad you made it. We appreciate you coming. And why don't we start just with a little background for everyone?
Oh boy. How long do you have? I've been in radio for longer than you've probably been alive. I know, I hate to say that, but yeah, it's true. So I'm one of those people who actually, studied broadcasting in college. I spent most of my career. I worked in talk radio right out of college in New York, WMCA, and from there moved into music radio, where I spent the bulk of my career. Moved out to Los Angeles in '87. I did music radio for 15 years out there. Wound up back home in South Florida, where I live now. Where I lived, where I grew up, and it started back into talk radio. I don't know, 10 years ago now or so. I was doing the morning show on WINZ in Miami, which was one of the Air America affiliates, right during the 2008 primary election. Okay. And in fact, I was fired the Friday after my show, the Friday before the Democratic convention, which was just lovely. And so, they replaced me with Imus, of all people, on a progressive talk station, just because they were getting ready to flip to sports, because Miami really needed a fourth sports talk station. And they had to wait out the Fox Sports contract of another station. So they took the Imus show. This is how corporate mainstream media works, on a progressive talk station for 6 months, because they got it for free until they could run out the clock. Then they just changed the format of the station. So thank you, Clear Channel. After that, I wound up moving to Air America. I was doing their late night show after being their fill-in person. I wound up at 11 p.m. at night. 11 p.m. to 1 a.m. Eastern, and did that until Air America went off the air. In fact, Air America went off the air. Oh, shoot. We missed the anniversary. I don't know how. Oh, because we were hung up with the inauguration. Go figure. It was January 21st, 2010. That was the day that the Supreme Court ruled on Citizens United, basically upending 100 years of settled campaign finance laws, saying corporations are people, my friend. And I was going to go on the air that night to talk about that. And about 5 o'clock in the afternoon, I found out that not only was money speech, but speech was dead, at least my speech, because Air America Radio went off the air. So that was January 21st, 2010. That night, instead of going on Air America at 11 p.m., I flipped on, at the time I was doing simulcasting on Ustream, and just went live there. And basically, I've been doing my show online ever since. So I've been 100% listener supported. I was doing it at my radioornot.com, which was my thing. And now I've made it easier to remember at NicoleSandler.com. I'm now on from 10 to, I'm going back to my old days. I was on 10 to noon Eastern, weekdays until, the end of August, after I was diagnosed with lung cancer this summer. I took a hiatus, had surgery, had half my lung removed. It's a lovely thing. And so I came back. I couldn't sit on the sidelines watching this election happen. So I actually came back on, I think, 3 weeks before Election Day. And now I'm on just 4 hours a week from 3 to 4 Eastern, Tuesday through Friday. And I'm on NicoleSandler.com. And I'm also heard on the Progressive Voices Network.
So you are independent media. You're the definition.
That's it.
So what does it mean to you? I mean, you pretty much just described it. It's do you have anything to add about, what independent media means as far as,
Well, I'm not even aligned with, I'm carried by Progressive Voices, but I'm sitting here in my own home studio. I have my own website. I'm 100% listener supported. And in fact, I'm so independent that I literally do everything myself. I mean, if you want to hear it, I have a little one of my show intros. Here, I'll just play it for you.
When Nicole Sandler sits down to do her show, she's the producer, booking the guests, pulling the audio, planning the show, the engineer, running the controls, troubleshooting any problems, playing the sounds, calling the guests. She's the webmaster, writing the blog, posting the podcast, maintaining the website, not to mention the host, interviewing the guests, explaining the issues, giving opinions, and calling out the bad guys. And then you get the Nicole Sandler Show on NicoleSandler.com.
So that's really independent. I don't have staff. I don't have anybody. So when something fucks up, it's all on me.
Yeah, no, well, that's perfect. That's exactly what, and that we know that when we're listening to you, we're getting you. There's no one,
No.
Perfect.
But by the same token, there's nobody. Nobody tells me what I can or can't talk about. I'm able to bring voice to. I think what an average person is feeling right now, because I've been on the roller coaster that this country is. And I hope I do it in an entertaining and informative way. See, here's where I put on my, I've been doing this too long hat. And there's a danger in that, the internet has been the great equalizer. Anybody with a, microphone and a decent internet connection can do a show. Can do a radio show. Now, this is, a lot of people are saying, well, a lot of people don't even use the term radio anymore because it's new media. It's a new thing. I'm old school. I'm old and I come from radio. So I hope I'm putting out, I want it to be informative. We are 100% fact-based, like real facts, like when fact meant fact. In my world, it still does. But I want it to be entertaining first and foremost. I want the listeners to know that if they do tune in, they're going to get they're going to be entertained, but everything they hear is going to be true. I'm not going to bullshit them. They may not agree with me. And sometimes if somebody calls in and disagrees with me. Well, for instance, here's a good example. Right after the election, or even it was before the election, I had some people who were Bernie Sanders supporters allegedly say that after Bernie endorsed Hillary, well, forget it, I'm voting for Trump. I had one guy say this to me, and after trying to talk reason to him for a moment, I basically told him he was an asshole and to, go away. I was stronger after the election, where if you voted for Trump, you say you were a Bernie Sanders supporter and you voted for Donald Trump, then you're a fucking moron. And, I have no use for you, really, because all the shit that's going on now, this is on them. And I have no problem calling people out. I mean, I've told people, don't listen to my show anymore. Go away. I don't want you here. If this is how you think, you're not constructive for our conversation. Just go away. Because we need people right now who are going to take action. See, now we're in a different territory. Now we need to, believe me, after the election, I was seriously considering stopping because it's dangerous to my health. I told you I fought lung cancer this year.
Yeah.
I battled depression, and that's another thing I'm very open with my audience about. They get me warts and all. And I had a really hard time right after the election, as so many of us did. And it hit again last week. I mean, I know that I don't do a show on Mondays. So the inauguration, was Friday. Saturday was the Women's March, which was awesome. I was down here in Miami. Sunday, I got really sick and I wound up in the emergency room. And Monday, I lied in bed all day. And part of it was physical, but part of it was my head exploding, I think. I really couldn't believe in 2 days, we saw the diminution of the truth. We saw, Sean Spicer come out and belittle that office, get up in front of the media and say, who are going to believe me or your lying eyes? Here are the pictures. And hello, we know what we saw. And he's telling us that, up is down and red is blue. And, well, actually not, that green is purple. Saying reality doesn't matter anymore. And, I'm just having a real hard time coping with it. But what I've realized is I'm certainly far from alone. And seeing the protests that have sprung up in the last 24 hours in relation to the travel ban is really heartening. It's like, okay, yes, I'm feeling this. It's hurting, but there are millions of me. There are so many people out in the streets right now. I couldn't be happier about that because I think there's so much power in our numbers.
So what can be done to build the strength of independent media, increase our influence while combating what you just mentioned, which is, the fight, the battle against the free press now?
Well, here's the thing. We need to realize that we're all on the same side. We're on the side of the truth, right? And disseminating information and helping to wean people off of their mainstream corporate media habit, because that's all they've had before. And I'm not saying don't listen to them. Look, I watch the Sunday shows. I need to hear what these people are saying. Where I turn it off is, I'll watch the news if it's news. What's useless are those stupid panel discussions with the Jeffrey Lords and the Kayleigh McEnees and oh my God, where do they find these people? I don't give a shit what they think. So, on my show, I try to get guests who I can learn something from. So who adds something to the conversation. The other part of it is that we need to support one another. I put up back, in the opposite world thing has been going on for a while. The Trump just took it to new levels. And I've been pushing back against the corporate mainstream media for a long time. The right likes to talk about the liberal media. Where? Show me where it is and I'll go. It doesn't exist. It's a myth. And so I started this list that is now morphed into theliberal.media. It's actually a page on my website, but you can get there like that. And it's a directory. It's got, channels like the Progressive Voices channel, the Young Turks, a few others, FYI Nation, a few other, 24/7 channels. It's got shows. I'll have to add you to the list. I'm on there. Tim Black's on there. Mm-hmm. Ben Dixon, Richard Esk. There are tons of shows like ours. And I think it's up to us to promote each other because, look, we need to build our network. I have a problem with some hosts who are doing this, who, it's me. It needs to be us. It's like Bernie. It's not me. It's us. It's we are in this together, and we need to have a big, not maybe network, but a community. We need to forge a community and promote one another. So theliberal.media is a first step, and I'm always through the site. You can email me if there are any other suggestions on shows or websites or networks that should be on there.
Awesome. Well, what comes to mind when you hear the term fake news?
It's funny. Fake news used to be Jon Stewart, right? The Daily Show.
Great point.
But the thing is, it wasn't fake. It was real news presented in a way that got people interested who had no interest in watching, the NBC nightly news.
Yeah.
We learned that entertainment was a great way to disseminate information, right? The fake news thing comes from, Fox. For years, I've called them the fake news channel. I've called them faux news. Years ago, I said, I got a new slogan for them. They won't, they won't pay me for it. It's okay. I'll give it to them for free. Fox News, we make shit up. Because that's what they do. I've been, for years I've been saying this, and it was funny then, but it's not so funny now because what's happened is they really have brainwashed legions of old people. When you think that's what it is. There's a movie out, but a woman named Jen Sanko. It's called The Brainwashing of My Dad or something like that. It's about her father who used to be a Democrat. But as he got older, and he's retired, and he sits home all day and he watches TV, and he's glued to Fox, and literally he's been brainwashed by Fox to the point where she cannot talk to him anymore. And it's, at first I'm reading it, it's like, oh, this is going to be funny. And it wasn't funny. It's really sad. And it's a thing. And that's what happened to Donald Trump. I firmly believe, first of all, he's got serious psychological problems. And I'm not saying that to be glib or cute or funny. As one who suffers from psychological problems, I don't make fun of that. It's serious. And I had a long discussion with someone last night about narcissistic personality disorder, and she grew up with it. She said her parents both suffered from it, and he's a textbook case, and it's really, truly dangerous. I mean, she asked me what I knew about it, and I said, well, from a layman's point of view, I know, and she went on to get very specific. He's a dangerous man and he needs help. But the fake news thing, they are telling you that the facts that are in front of you are not true. I mean, it's like, before, long before Trump took power, this is one of the ways that the Republicans and the pundits on the right would push back. You would present them with fact and they'd say, well, I don't believe you. The whole climate change thing. Well, I'm not a scientist, but, well, yeah, you're not a scientist. So defer to the fucking scientists who know what they're talking about. But their whole thing was, I don't believe you. That stops a conversation cold, because if you don't believe me, well, I got nothing more to say to you. This is what the Trump administration is doing. They're saying those facts, we don't believe them. We have alternative facts. That's what Kellyanne Conway was saying, is we've got our own set of facts here. And you can believe us. You can say whatever you want. We're going to tell you that it's not true. We don't believe you. That's what fake news is, when they make shit up and they present it as fact. I'm not worried about the stupid planted, Hillary Clinton's running a child sex ring out of a pizza place in Washington, D.C., because it's so blatantly absurd. Mm-hmm. But when they say, well, I don't believe you about climate change, so guess what? We're gonna muzzle the EPA, and we're gonna close down their Twitter account, and they're not allowed to talk to the press anymore. And, we're going to make up our own rules. Oh, and by the way, media, you need to shut up and just listen. Then we've entered really serious territory. I think fake news is we're so far beyond talking about fake news. We got to talk about the constitutionality of trying to shut up the fourth estate.
Right.
Telling the media to shut up.
Part of the getting us to shut up is trying to control the internet. So that leads me to the last question, which is, what is the state of corporate and mainstream media and the influence on independent voices on a free and open internet?
Actually, the state of corporate media is stronger than it's ever been. Dumps, and I call him Dump. It's Donald Trump, D''UMP. It's just a way to shorten his name.
Right.
Because Donald Trump, D''Dump. That's giving him the respect he deserves. Anyway, so Dump's pick to head the FCC is one of net neutrality's biggest foes. Yeah. They're going to give corporate America whatever they want. Therefore, I put out my show. I'm on YouTube every day. And I'm, I've got my own audio stream, and I'm Progressive Voices. And all of this is threatened now because I won't put my show behind a paywall, because I know that there are so many people who are really hurting. And I can't tell them, oh, you can only listen to my show if you pay $5 a month. I won't do that. Mine is like public radio used to be, where it's listener donations. It's on a honor system. It's a voluntary basis. But if they start charging more to go in the fast lane, basically if they shut down your video stream, or they shut down my YouTube, or it stutters like we're on an old dial-up line because we don't pay the big bounty. And, oh, by the way, AOL, podcasts or media, whatever, they can get through fast because they pay the money or they own the pipes. Yeah. We're screwed. So freepress.net, is a good place to start.
Awesome.
The EFF Foundation, all these groups that are fighting for net neutrality, if you are concerned about the future of the media, and independent media like what we're doing here, that's a really big issue. And I know, look, it's tough. We've been hit with a whirlwind over the last 10 days or so from every direction. Oh my God, this issue, that issue, that issue. This is the biggie. If you're concerned about being able to go to your computer or plug in your smartphone or, listen to streaming radio without corporate influence, net neutrality is going to be one you really got to pay attention to. And I know we've got to be active on so many fronts now. We're being attacked on so many fronts now, but this is a biggie. It's coming down.
Yeah, it's all hands on deck.
Yep, it is.
All right, Nicole. Well, thank you very much again for stopping by. We appreciate the conversation. And of course, we'll be cutting into segments and sending it out. And again, it was great to talk to you, and you had some great insights. And hopefully we'll work together again in the future.
Sounds great. Thanks so much for having me.
Of course. Thank you very much.
Thanks,
Bye-bye.
Nicole.
Thank you. Bye.